A very pleasant Thursday morning to you. Welcome once again to Untangle on the Bridge 99 FM. A very special morning to you, Richie, and the Up and Go crew. You all have yourselves a wonderful day. And of course, a very big thank you to all those who have joined us on the Bridge 99 FM. You know, you're the reason why we're here. We say it all the time because we mean it. And a very special morning to the Untangle crew this morning. So, good morning. We have live on the phone Dr. Michael Barnett. Good morning, Dr. Barnett.
Yes, morning, Mama Elise.
How are you?
Great, yes.
Wonderful. So happy 124th anniversary of the birth of Leonard Howell as we celebrate all over the world. And I know we're celebrating right here in Jamaica.
Yes, most certainly, you know.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
I said, yeah, man, we're honoring, you know, the patriarch of the Rastafari movement.
Right.
You know. Yes, man.
Okay, so just let us not assume that everyone knows who Leonard Howell is. So let us start by asking you exactly who was Leonard Howell?
So Leonard Howell was one of the first generation leaders of the Rastafari movement. He started preaching the divinity of His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie from January 1933, because he was in the U.S. prior to that, and he flew into Jamaica December 1932, and as him come on the island, him start preaching, because His Majesty was coronated, of course, Emperor of Ethiopia, 2nd of November 1930. So, you know, he gave the world a perspective that, you know, this is, you know, God in the flesh, and he basically preached to the community here in Jamaica that His Imperial Majesty was the rightful king for black people, and that they should stop worshiping King George V, who was the British monarch at the time, you know, because we are under, you know, that strong colonial atmosphere at the time. So his thing was that Haile Selassie was the rightful king that black people should be paying homage to, and not King George V.
Okay.
And for these speeches and so forth, he was persecuted. He was tried for sedition, actually, in March of 1934, along with his lieutenant, Robert Hines. And Robert Hines, I should just tell people, was a lieutenant for the Honorable Alexander Bedwood. So Hines provides that linkage between the revival movement of Bedwood, or the Baptist movement, and Rastafari. You know?
Okay.
Yes.
Very interesting perspective. And both Bedwood and Leonard Howell were also claimed to be mentally disturbed. And I'm sure this was the case because no one had ever heard a philosophy like this before.
Absolutely. You see, when we're going against the colonial mantra of the time, you know, because both Bedwood and Leonard Howell were anti-colonialists, and you know the Rastafari movement, in a sense, is anti-colonial,
right.
You know, and they're talking of black liberation. That kind of talk at that time, you know, was considered, you know, mad, crazy. How can you go against the dominant? You know, discourse of the society and so forth. So,
right.
So you know, Bellevue was one of the places he incarcerated, and then he in jail as well. In fact, Leonard Howell is the most persecuted Rastafari leader, without a doubt, because the amount of times he was thrown into Bellevue or prison, you know, it's like every couple of years, you know, they would incarcerate him. So, you know, he more than paid his dues for preaching black self-reliance, black pride, you know, black upliftment.
So, Dr. Barnett, it was actually on one of his returns from prison, one of his releases from prison, that he set up the Rastafari village called Pinnacle.
Yes,
Let us
yes,
talk about Pinnacle and the resourcefulness of Leonard Howell.
yes. So he purchased some land, Pinnacle, a vast amount of land. At that time, it was about 500 acres of land up by Sligoville, which we refer to as Pinnacle. And he had a large community of Rastafari followers living there, about 3,000 persons or whatever. So it was like a village or a small town of people. No, they grew all the crops that they needed to eat. They installed, water tanks and so forth. So they had water supply. Um, they had, goats and livestock and so forth. So they were fully self-reliant so far as food was concerned. And they also grew ganja as a cash crop. So that meant money was coming into the community, and a lot of money at the time.
I
A lot of
remember,
money.
yes. So,
Yes, yes.
right. And how long did this last?
Well, Pinnacle was established in 1940, and then the first major raid was 1954, which was on the pretext of ganja, I must say, and not about them living there illegally. And then there were subsequent raids in 56 and the last, in 58, they evicted the last few remaining residents at Pinnacle, the Howlites, as we refer to them as followers. So
Right.
basically, they were there for 14 years, let's say, in a relatively stable fashion, and then they were thrown up. Now, my contention is that they were not squatters, and I keep saying that because Leonard had some paperwork. He did pay Alfred Chang £800, and arguably there was a balance due of 400. Now, we're not really sure what happened if Alfred Chang formally handed him the title to the land. We're not sure, but he must have had some paperwork because they were left untouched until 1954.
And when they were raided, it wasn't because of being squatters.
Well, there was a pretext. Was ganja was the context in 1954? No, something happened subsequent to that. I mean, one perspective is that because they burnt down the houses there, they burnt the crops and all of that. The paperwork he had was destroyed and so forth. So then, without him having any paperwork, he couldn't attest to his rightful right and for him and the community to be on the land. But what I would say, and I put this out there, is that they would not have left that community untouched if there was no legal basis for them to be on the land for so long, especially in those colonial times. Right? It's not like today where I would argue squatting is an easier thing to do. In colonial Jamaica, you couldn't just squat and sit happy and be untouched for so long. And with so many people had their eyes on the land as well.
Because of that vantage point. It's a beautiful piece of land on a hilltop.
Exactly. Very beautiful piece of land.
Yes.
Absolutely. So many people had that vantage point. And many people in Jamaica felt threatened by the Rastafari presence at that time.
Right. I still...
So yes, and still a stigma against Rastafari. But my thing is that the ganja raid was their pretext to come in and pretty much dismantle the community. Because notably, not only did they burn the ganja crops, they burned all of the other food crops they had, burnt many of the houses there and all of that. So, living conditions were very rough after that raid in 54. But people still tried to continue. And 56 there's another raid, and then that unsettled the community more. And then there was a few die-hearted persons who remained at Pinnacle. 58, they did a last sweep to push everybody out, you know?
Right. Okay, but Pinnacle still exists, but not on 400 or 500 acres of land.
No, because, yes, because there's been developments there, a lot of, it's become residential, so it's only on top of Pinnacle that is presently open land, you know, just a few lots at the very top.
Mm-hmm.
And there has been efforts to make these lots, you know, formally National Heritage Site, you know.
Right.
But there have been many roadblocks to this. I don't know if I really want to get into the total ins and outs, but just fair to say there's only one lot at this point in time which is a National Heritage Site.
There's only one
Yeah.
one lot.
Yeah, only one lot, yeah.
What size is a lot?
Well, this lot that was made, I mean, it's close to an acre of land, if not maybe a little less than an acre. So it's not right at the where the Great House is, at the very top of Pinnacle.
Okay.
That's the only, and that was declared in September 2013. But you know, I must say that unfortunately when there was Minister Grange did make an effort to declare 5 additional lots in 2017, early 2017. Unfortunately, we had a group of Rastafari called the Millennium Council who saw it fit to file an objection rather, to the declaration. I am still puzzled by that, because what that did was it just stalled the whole process. It was like, you know, putting a stopper in the works, or a spanner in the spokes, I should say. So,
Well,
you know,
I realize that there are a lot of groups, particularly Rastafarian groups, who really try to save the lands of Pinnacle, and it doesn't seem to have worked very well. But there's a Pinnacle Foundation. Tell us about that.
all right. So the LPH Foundation, which is the Leonard Percival Hall Foundation, consists of the children of Leonard Howell, so Monty Howell, Billy Howell, Kathy Howell, and a few of us who feel very strongly about, you know, Pinnacle being preserved, and Pinnacle being actually to bring it back to what it used to be, you know. Even remodeling some of the houses that they used to have there and so forth. So that people
Remodeling
could
it with
get
what
that.
in mind?
Huh?
With what in
Well, they
mind?
used to have wattle and door cottages there.
Okay.
So some of us say, why not put some wattle and door cottages there, you know, and have even try and restore the Great House
As an
itself.
extension of a heritage site?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, as part of a heritage
As a part
site.
of it, yes.
So that when people come through, they could feel what Pinnacle used to feel like.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yes, make it a genuine heritage site.
Absolutely.
So it's not just land just there, you know, relatively undeveloped. You know what I mean?
And it would be wonderful if it could actually be controlled by the Rastafarian community, eligible
Yes.
members of the Rastafarian community, because that's
Yeah.
what, if it is a heritage site, that's
Yeah.
what people are going to want to see.
Right. So exactly. So you put together at least a committee or whatever of certain, you know, members of the Rastafari community for that to happen.
Right.
And that's what actually the Leonard Percival Hall Foundation has been agitating for, you know. But as I said, I still today am bewildered by the objection that was filed, because to me that is, you know, halting any progressive step. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And even if some people say, oh, they don't think 5 lots is is not much, but it's a move forward. Sometimes you have to take incremental steps. But
I think,
rather than just
yeah,
remaining at one lot,
right.
it to me, well, we haven't moved forward at all.
I hear you. It just, I'm thinking that the thinking is that if you accept one lot, you have accepted that out of the 400 acres. So,
Well, well. The one lot was granted way back in 2013, and that was under the PNP administration. Now, what I would say is that Minister Grange saw it fit in 2017, soon after the JLP came back into power, to grant 5 additional lots, right?
mm-hmm.
And that, as I said, was blocked,
Yeah.
by a group that called themselves the Millennium Council at the time. And to me, that was really a halt to progress, and that's how the LPH Foundation see it. Anyway.
Something, Michael. I think about it all the time, and I'm going to express it now. That
Yeah,
back in the 1930s, 1940s, Leonard Howell under so much pressure and prejudice could actually build a village that survived and fed the members who lived there. Do you think this can happen in 2022? Because, I look at even Prince Emmanuel and the Bubble Hill, and he did something pretty similar, probably
yeah,
with less land. But
yeah.
but do you think that the mindset of Rastafarians today, even with less pressure than Leonard Howell and Prince Emmanuel had, can actually not just do this again, but improve on it? Do you think we
Yeah,
have the resources to do it? Not
we have
when I say resources, I mean presence of mind.
presence of mind. Well, I think if you gather the right, there's certain ones who have that presence of mind. So if that energy is focused, I mean, it can happen. Obviously there are a lot of distractions, and there are a lot of so many other things going on. But I see the potential is there. Just
Yes.
once you have the right collective, forward-thinking collective, that can I really think that
and
can
and
happen.
and, and a lot of times too many cooks spoil the broth. So if for
Yes.
that to happen, would it be solely left upon, I'm sure the government would have a part to play, but the government and the foundation, because that would lessen the amount of naysayers.
Well, that's one way forward, but at the same time, I know there's some progressive persons out there in the Rastafari community outside of the Leonard Percival Hall Foundation, and I think that with a group of progressively minded individuals, something can happen. But I mean, it's with that ethos of actually making something tangible happen, not only honoring the legacy of Leonard Howell, but actually continuing
Right.
the legacy. So what you said is a very pertinent question, and it's one that I think will need to be reflected on
Okay.
by many members of the community. Because my thing is that my mantra is forward ever, backward never. So rather than just standing still in a condition of inertia and so forth, why you have to try and move forward. You have to aspire to move forward.
Well, one thing that I'm very happy about is the fact that the foundation, along with others like yourself, are keeping his presence alive. And this is exactly what is happening today. Tell us about the birthday celebration at Country Farmhouse today, right?
Today, yes. So it'll be starting at 4 o'clock. It's a cultural program as well. So there will be cultural music provided by Akaben Sound and brother called Carney Ank Amun will be playing music, as well as Ibi Lion We'll also be playing music, and then there will be speakers speaking on the significance of Leonard Howell, such as myself, Professor Clinton Hutton, Sister Kathy Howell, daughter of Leonard Howell, and Ras Miguel Lawn
Yes.
will also be speaking on the significance of Leonard Howell, and a few cultural artists such as Michael General and Sister Boom Dawn and so forth will be performing, some cultural items and
Right.
so forth. So it'll be a cultural night. A cultural event. And I just want to say it starts at 4, but it'll only be going at 8 o'clock. So I don't want people to think it's like a dance session going way into the wee hours. No,
It's from 4 to
more of a
8 p.m.
daytime thing. It's more of a daytime thing. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and it's being
Closing off
kept
at 8,
it's being
yeah.
kept in a space that is really building its energy as a cultural space. So yes.
Yes. Country Farmhouse, and I must big up, Rasaimo, who is a co-promoter of the event, along with the Leonard Percival Hall Foundation.
Okay.
So it's a nice space which has been around for several years now.
Right.
And Rasaimo has programmed himself several cultural events and has honored Leonard Howell in his own way. In fact, he's actually related to
Really?
Leonard Howell. Yes,
Ras
down the
Imo?
line he's related. Yes,
I did not know
like
this.
His great. I think it's his great grand mother on his maternal side is something like the sister of Leonard Howell's mother.
Oh,
So
wow.
there's a connection in going back a few generations.
Excellent. So this happens today, and for those listening, it's at the Country Farm House, 3 Deanery Road in Kingston, and be part of the celebration. Once again, thank you very much, Dr. Barnett, and thanks for always, as I said, not just making Leonard Howell's presence always remembered, but others. And thanks for what you do and the team that work together. Yeah, just bless them up and bless up Imo, his family, and all those who will be gathered later on to celebrate the life of such a wonderful legend, Leonard Howell.
Well, thank you very much, Mama Elise, and thank you.
You're most welcome. Thanks for taking the time out. I know you're very busy today, so keep on doing what you're doing. Have a wonderful day. Okay, so that's Dr. Michael Burnett, and we're talking about today being the 124th anniversary of the birth of Leonard Howell. And for those who didn't know who Leonard Howell was, certainly hope this interview helped to shed some light. And for those who already know and will be celebrating, we say Happy Leonard Howell Day. Gonna take a break. We're soon forward. Standing by for the global connection with Beauregard on the Irie Jam Radio listeners and viewers. Okay. So we're live now. Good afternoon, Beauregard.
Good, Mama Kelly. How are you doing on this Thursday?
I am very well, thank you. I was driving over this morning and it was just such a beautiful morning weather-wise. Beautiful.
Nice. We had some showers here last night, and yesterday was kind of a little overcast. It's overcast right now, but look like the sun will peep out again.
That's the kind of weather that we're having. Pink!
Is it?
It is! It's pink!
Wow.
Love me my pink, and I love to see my brothers in pink. You know, you have to be a very confident man to wear pink.
Of course.
Love to see my brothers in pink. Yes.
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 Mama Kelly, I started the show today with a song from Mortimer called Be Careful, and I want to send a happy birthday going out to Mortimer, who's celebrating his birthday today. I believe you are familiar with his music and some of his songs.
I love his music. I just didn't know it was his birthday today.
Yes.
So happy birthday, Mortimer.
Yeah, man.
So he's a Gemini.
Yes.
Okay, creative people.
He did post it on his Instagram page, so
okay.
I became aware that way.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah, man. What's going on in Jamaica, Mama Kelly?
As I was just going to try to find something, and it's just a motorcycle smashes through shop. I don't know. A lot of carnage on the road, and you realize that here in Jamaica we're actually celebrating as the carnage continues. We're celebrating Road Safety Awareness Month in the month of June, and it's like sometimes it's like instead of it getting less when we're celebrating the month, it's like it get more. Trust me.
Trust me.
Anyway,
It's always a crazy situation. I would just wish that Jamaicans and people all over the world would take their time more on the roads when they're driving, and even pedestrians walking have to be careful too.
seeing. So you know that today is Leonard Howell's 124th birthday. You know who is Leonard Howell, right? The person who set up Pinnacle. They say he's the first Rastafarian, but I would say he's the first Rastafarian of his generation. So he's having a birthday today. There's a Pinnacle Foundation, or the Leonard Howell Foundation. They're having a celebration in Kingston on Deanery Road. So we just wanted to send that out to your listeners, for those who know Leonard Howell, know Pinnacle, know the struggles that the foundation have been going through, because he occupied 400 acres of land back in the day, and now all that is, or he has been given or afforded, is actually a lot of land, which is a little less than an acre, which them setting up a heritage site on. So the struggle continues.
True indeed. So we have an interview that we are supposed to get to, Mama Kelly.
Yes. What time it starts? 10? No. Oh, no. Yes, it starts now, Beauregard.
Yes, it does. And we will be joining Mr. Harry Borasing, who is the senior country manager for the Jamaica National Money Transfer here in the United States. Do we have him online as yet?
Very good afternoon. Good afternoon to you. Yes, I'm online.
Good afternoon. I'm not hearing him very clearly on this side, Mama Kelly. Are you hearing him?
We're hearing him. Good afternoon, Mr. Borasing.
Good afternoon, Elise. How are you doing?
Okay. You hearing him now, Beauregard?
Slightly. It's very faint. I'm not hearing him too clear. Not as clear as you.
Okay, so let me start off then, all right?
Right, no problem.
So today we're celebrating International Day of Family Remittances. Tell us about this.
Thank you so much for having me on your radio program. The International Day of Family Remittance was adopted by the United Nations General Assembly and is observed on June 16th each year. Really, it is a day selected to recognize and acknowledge contributions that migrants have made to the lives of their loved ones back home and also to their country. And it's recognized across the world. And it's one of those days that persons who send money back home really get an opportunity to be recognized.
Right. Wonderful. For us here in Jamaica, it's a major thing, because many people here in Jamaica would not even be able to pay the school fee, buy the bills, particularly the elderly and the children, without these remittances. So it really is worthy of celebration.
And most certainly. And through our service, of course, Jade Money, persons can receive money. Well, most persons receive money to supplement their household income, and particularly like in Jamaica, and especially in the rural parts. So they use it mainly to cover necessities such as food, utilities, education, etc.
Right.
I mean, some persons will also send money for investment purposes. So they might put it across in some savings account, or for investment, or even to build houses. We have many of our customers who have built houses by sending funds through us, and for retirement when they go home to live in Jamaica. And it's also a very, very important source of foreign exchange for Jamaica as well.
Absolutely. And you hearing any better now, Beauregard?
I'm hearing clearly now.
Okay, you go ahead now.
Good afternoon, Mr. Borasing.
Kilabu, good afternoon, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, my brother. Just want to say thank you for being a long-standing community stalwart, a friend and supporter of the Irish Jam family. In fact, our offices were next to each other on Merritt Boulevard, where, even a greater bond was cemented. You are known to be a strong community advocate, and through Jamaica National has supported many causes. and and has had a positive impact in the Jamaican and Caribbean diaspora. For our listeners who out there who may not know about JN Money, give us a little background. Who is JN Money and how long have you been in the operation?
Thank you so much. Well, we are a global remittance brand. We have been in operations over 30 years. So we originated in Jamaica. We're owned by JN Money Services Limited, and it's a part of the Jamaica National Group of Companies. So our brand, we uphold international standards, and we facilitate transfer of money between countries. For example, USA, Canada, Cayman, Antigua, Turks and Caicos, Ghana, Haiti, and of course Jamaica. That's where we have mainly our operations. So we provide good customer service, or some people say great customer service. We have a wide network of branch and agent locations. We guarantee some fast and affordable, convenient service. So whether persons are sending money online at JN Money Online, or they visit one of our many branches or agents, you're always welcome to use our service because they find it as with the low fees that we have, and our service to facilitate them sending money for whatever purpose they are. They find it very convenient to do so.
Thanks.
You mentioned briefly before about how remittances benefit people who are receiving money, and we ask you, how has the Jamaica National Money positively impacted their lives? Give us more examples.
Well, as mentioned, people use money, really, or they receive money mainly to support their household income so they can take care of their basic needs. So whether it be food, paying the light, the water, the gas bill, or sending children to school. Other persons will send money for investment purposes. Some will send money, whether it be for investment purposes, whether it be in savings accounts or in the stock market, or even buy land or to build houses for them to return home. And so our role in all of this is to provide that convenience to the sender and their loved ones back home, so they can stay connected. And that's how that's our role mainly, to provide the service to facilitate that kind of connection with them.
Okay.
And how can persons wanting to send money access your services overseas and in Jamaica?
Very well. Thanks for that question. We do have an online service. In fact, here in the United States, we operate out of 9 states and we're expanding. So jnmoneyonline.com is very convenient. So wherever they are across these states, they can access the website and send funds home. Or if they're close to one of our branches, we have 10, 12 branches across these states, mainly in U.S., in the Northeast, in New York and Florida, Georgia, and of course Connecticut. But we also have a number of agents across the various states, so they can send money to their loved ones to pick up the cash at any of our convenient locations in Jamaica or other Caribbean countries. What I'd like to highlight, though, our JN Money card, which is our debit card product, and this offers our customers the convenience of accessing their funds 24/7. So there's no need to walk on with cash. They can withdraw funds from any multi-link ATM, or they can use a card anywhere debit cards are accepted in Jamaica. They can also benefit from, through our rewards program whenever they use their card. The card is free. They can sign up for the card at JN Bank or JN Money Shop. That's also another way of receiving funds, or they can collect the funds or cash from many local businesses in their communities. They can also receive the funds on any bank account in Jamaica, whether it be US dollar, Jamaican dollar account at any institution. And of course, they can take care of all their financial needs in Jamaica. They can pay their bills in Jamaica, whether it be light, water, telephone, mortgage, school fees, cable, land taxes, just about anything in Jamaica.
And finally, Mr. Borasing, as we celebrate International Day of Family Remittances, is there a special offer for customers using services, particularly today?
Most certainly. We couldn't have the Day of International Day of Family Remittance without offering something to our customers. And so today we're offering for those persons who access an online platform, 0 fees. Sending money today, no fees. And I'd like
Yes.
to add as well that if they were to come into our locations, we do have some giveaways you can give customers if they come into our branch location wherever they are.
Okay, and
Wonderful.
and that started in the morning and goes through till when today?
Goes on until 12 a.m. Tonight.
Oh, great, wonderful. All right.
Nice.
So,
Well, Mr. Boris Singh, want to thank you very much for everything that you have been doing in the community, and just continue to provide the services that the diaspora needs for their loved ones back home. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, and I hope I'll be able to reach out to some persons who have not yet used our service to come in and use our Jane Money services.
okay, wonderful. So that's Mr. Harry Bora Singh, and he is the country manager, JN Money Services USA. We're going to take a break. We soon come.
We are connected to the Bridge 99 FM with Mama Kelly on the Bridge 99, and right now live inside the studios of the Bridge 99 FM. She's being joined by Mr. Rondell Positive.
Right, so he's right here beside me. I look up in the morning. It is just so good to see you.
At 10 years,
You know age.
like this
You
in
know
the
plan for
months.
age.
You too. You know age.
Oh my God, you look like a schoolboy, like one of the boys used to teach.
God have mercy. My mother, may I tell you something? My mother, when I talk to my mother and tell her I'm going to talk to Elise, she say, you're a mother.
You just bless her up for me. Yeah, man. It's wonderful to see you. You know, as I see you, you know, and you look so happy and fresh and all of that. I need to ask you this because I'm very curious. A lot of our taste in music is shifting. I don't know whether to call it left or right, but I know if it's up or down. How are you surviving as a gospel singer in the face of the kind of music that we are hearing now?
So the songs are the answers in the mirror. We can't solve the problems the significant problems that we face daily. We can't solve them at the same level of thinking that the problems were created.
Wow.
And I think that is what the youth them are trying to do with the music. We're trying to solve crime and murders and all of these things by singing about crime and murders and all of these things. So everything is at the same level of thinking. You know, and Einstein saying if you keep doing the same thing, thinking that the same thing going to change and you don't change the thing. So for me, I recognize that most of the music coming out of Jamaica is anti-Jamaican. And I want to say that, and I want it to sink a little bit. I want people to understand it. Most of the music coming out of Jamaica is anti-Jamaican, meaning it does not reflect who a Jamaican person is.
Absolutely.
So the people singing it supposed to be Jamaican, and not. But the truth is that people perish because of a lack of knowledge. People don't know who they are as Jamaicans, and so we always take on the bad things from out of the other places, and the other places look to us for the good things, and then we apply the bad things we bring the bad things that they have, and them look to us to give them the good things that we have, and we take on the bad things and feel like say we're doing good.
Wow.
But bad can never be good. It said that the book say a bad tree can never produce good fruit, and a good tree will never produce bad fruit. So Rondell Positive, the name alone will always be producing good fruit.
Mm-hmm. I hear you.
And the world want good.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know?
Greetings, Rondell.
Much blessing, how you do, boss?
But there, long time. You know, Mama Kelly, I haven't spoken to Rondell in about 2 years, and when I spoke to him, it was on social media because the song was brought to my attention by Mr. Bobby Clark and Cynthia Shea Clark. It was sent to my email, and that's how I got knowledge of this song. And when I heard the song, I instantly made this song my hit pick of the week, and this was back in November of 2020. And the reason was because the song just resonated with me. At that time, COVID had just started, and we were having a lot of protests going on here in the United States as far as with the police officers and George Floyd, and we were dealing with Donald Trump, and just a lot was going on. And, you know, it was just a positive song for me at the time, so I said, you know what, hit pick of the week, and that's what it was. This song talks about the change in the world. What are some of the things that you would change in the world if you were able to, Rondell?
If I could have changed the world, it's simple. It's just how men think. Because if we change how men think, we will recognize that everything changes. You know, everything changes. Men need to start seeing themselves not as according to the systems of the world that have basically created their own kind of men. According to the book, I live by the book, the manual of man's life. And it suggests that man was created for one reason, to dominate not people, but all things. All other things must be dominated by men. So if men are supposed to dominate things, and the only thing that men were not given dominion over is other men, and we want to dominate the one thing where we never get dominion over, everything must go wrong because we're out of place. We're supposed to be fixing trees and solving the issues where it concerns the earth and so forth, but we want to rule one another. We want to control each other. So if I can get every man, and that's what this song is about. And as you speak about what happened when you got the song, mums, you know how my thing go, you know. Me no get songs, so you know, 10 years a song I take for write, you know. 10 years.
10 years?
10 years. When you remember when we just want to come in, 10 years we not talk like this in a mums. And in the 10 years there, when I just about to leave teaching in a Morant Bay Primary, I was invited to a student meeting to talk to some student. And I said, what must I say? Go and tell them the answer is in the mirror. You are the change that you want to see. This was grade 5 and grade 6. I never even remember I sing that little melody there to them. Then 5 years later, I visit a high school and a girl said to me, she said, sir, when I was at primary school, you sing something to me. And she said, from that day, I made a decision that nobody determines anything that happened to me. I am responsible for answering my situations. I am responsible for figuring it out. And all I had at that time was those 2 lines of the song. And then the song started flowing. I just start get the rest of the song. And then it just cut off again. I can't get no more of the song. 2019, October, in about 45 minutes, everything for the rest of the song just comes out. Song
Clear.
complete written. Song complete recording 2019, October 31st. And we say we were mix and master by November 20th. November 20th we finished with song, and the world was hit with something called COVID-19. Everything what him just say was the vision that we saw for the music video before they all happened. When we sat in 2020 and see the whole world turn upside down, and we say, but that is exactly what we saw. That's exactly what we saw. What I want to say in this thing is that, I said earlier, I love Elise Kelly. My mother call her my mother. Why? Because you play music differently from everybody else on earth. You play music for change the world.
Whoever's music it
come
is.
no mommy man.
Whoever music it is, from dancehall to reggae to soca. But let me just say something to you though, Rondell. You know, there are times when people ask this question of others, as in relation to the question that Beauregard just asked you, what would you do? There are times when people ask others, if you were God for a day, what would you do? And I find that question puzzling. I find it almost annoying, because it says that God not doing him work good. So if you was God, what you would have do? So you see that answer that you gave, and that statement that young lady said to you, I am responsible.
Absolutely, but God said too. When you read Psalm 82, him say, ye are gods.
All right.
But then him say, but you will die as mere men. Why? Because you don't pay attention to how I say you must operate. So I made ye as gods over this earth, for run this earth. But you now create your own earth. And in your own earth, Instead of you a function for rule things, you want to rule people.
You know, this is not said a lot, especially in the circle that you're in, that I will say, I remember saying once on my social media post, that so-and-so is a god of music. And it was the Christians who came down very heavily on me and saying there is only one God. And I'm saying, so what about the goddesses in earth?
No, man.
What about the God? They're gods.
No, man. Me a king. You know why the Bible say, that Jesus Christ is the King of all kings? Listen to it. King of all what? Kings. Which kings? The kings in the earth that have been redeemed by Jesus Christ. Remember again, my people perish because of a lack of knowledge. If you don't know that, if you don't know your father, it doesn't change who your father is.
No,
Let me say that again.
It doesn't.
If you don't know your father, it does not change the truth about who your father is.
And it doesn't change how your father sees you.
Absolutely
It
not.
changes your life.
Your perspective.
Changes your perspective.
It changes your perspective.
Absolutely.
And so because
Absolutely.
it changes your perspective, you start to see things blurrily.
Well said. Well said. A lot of people think that it changes how the Most High sees me. The Most High loves me no matter what. What it changes is how I see myself.
Yeah, man. If you don't know your father, it not change it. Your father is your father. Is your father. Is your father. Is your father.
Is your father.
Full
And your
stop.
father love you full stop.
Straight up.
Whether you know him name or not. Because if I'm one, I go just call me mama and him no know say me name Elise. I me not like him. Since when? It's me him talking. So me love him same way. And these are something. Let me, Beauregard, I am so hot when it comes to religion, because I really do believe that religious people, and when I say that, I mean every single religion.
But that are the challenge. Christ never. Remember, say religion kill Christ, and that are the challenge. The challenge is that people think that what Christ is about religion. Christ never give out nobody no religion, man. Because nobody never lose no religion. What you lose was your kingship, being a king in the earth. And if you lose your kingship, if you listen to when him talk, the first statement he made when he came back to earth was, repent. What does it mean? Repent don't mean run, go to the altar and cry and bawl and make it an emotional thing. Repent means change your mindset. You go in this direction, shift, change how you're thinking. Let me say it again. The level at which problems are created cannot be solved. Problems cannot be solved at the level they are created. That level of thinking, you have to change how you think, and that's what repent means. Re means to go back. So when him say repent or you are restored, it means say go back to who you used to be before. How did I make you originally? I made you as a ruler over earth. However, there are some guidelines that you need to follow as to if you practice to drive through the red light, me not have to tell you say something will hit you. If you choose to walk off at the top of the building, gravity not going to ask you no question and tell you say, my name is Gravity. No, Gravity going to say, welcome to meeting Gravity. Why? Because there are principles and laws that guide the whole thing. And so the whole music, Rondell Positive and music, is just about that. I came to a realization, I may not even get to talk about me being Jamaican yet, because it's big in a moment. Before this country was formed, into Jamaica, 1962, somebody got a vision of what this country is, just like how the man who make the microphone decide how the microphone work and tell you, say, if that thing right there, so don't plug it in, Miss Kelly. If you don't plug it in, don't expect any sound to come out of the microphone. The man who was responsible for putting them principles as to how Jamaicans supposed to operate is a man, one named Robert Lightburn, and what the next one name, who wrote the national pledge and the national anthem.
Jimmy.
And the man say, this is the vision that the man get. Before God and all mankind. And the next word is I. I, Rondell Positive. I, Elise Kelly. Seeing? I pledge the love and loyalty of my heart. Not we not do it together. Me pledge that. And we know the whole of down this. And then it says, so that Jamaica may under God. First step. I always tell the Prime Minister, please listen, sir. Under God, first step. Second step, increase in beauty. Then what? Fellowship. What is fellowship? The killing where we kill each other. We out of fellowship. And then prosperity. So if we talk prosperity sound like it the way down at the end. And you have to go through them 4 steps here. When we're coming inside of the bridge, we'd have to come up the first step, the second step, and the third step before we touch the door. And then, after we increase in beauty, fellowship, and prosperity, then we are going to play our part in advancing not Jamaica. Our mindset as Jamaican is figuring out how we're going to figure Jamaica. We can't figure out Jamaica until we live our original purpose, which is to advance the welfare of the whole human race.
Absolutely.
Therefore, we have to now go back to what we were originally created for.
Beauregard, I know it's your time to ask a question.
Yes, indeed. I'm listening and I'm hearing everything he's saying through his music and everything he's saying right now. I'm getting an idea of who Rondell Positive is. But I want you to tell our listeners, what kind of a child and teenager were you?
Them used to call me Rondell.
But hey, look here, we're going to take a break. But can I say something? Remember what you asked him, Beauregard.
Yes.
Because you see, the Ron Hells of this world, I find to be a lot more accommodating, a lot more tolerant, and that is why, in my opinion, the Most High chose people like Ron Hell to talk to him people them. We're going to take a break. A phone call. So Beauregard soon comes. So it's now 12:43, and the question was, what were you like as a youngster?
So yeah, I grew up as a youth. I think seeds are important. I grew up as a youth who had my parents were Christians, still are. From a born till now, I know them as people who. And more time, I don't even say Christians. I mean, citizens of the kingdom of God, because they had understanding of why Christ came, and they made those things. They made us know those things. That is not a religion thing. But me did get enough trouble. You understand? I was the brave one. So when my brother them, nobody couldn't trouble my bigger brother them, because I made them would have come call. Me never have no sense. So
no good.
Yeah. So even what if the youth them who out there make trouble now, me understand where them there. And it is something called fear that is ruling them. It is something that says, me go done you before you done me. You know, because, and that, me remember one time, you know, me go for some man who have them gun in a mummy with a ratchet knife, you know. I tell them, I go for them. This happened in a 1997. When I say I go for them, it means I go for them because one of them, this my big brother, and I say I go for them. And that was 1997. 2013, me in my bed asleep. And me hear God say, you never even see, so you did dead. The man them did have them gun them. If it wasn't for purpose, you wouldn't there, you know. So yeah, I was troublesome and just never fear anything. I thought I was fearless, but I never realized that it was fear that was driving me.
Let me ask you this, Rondell, because it seems to me that oftentimes when the Most High sends certain people in my life to either to change me or for me to change them, because it's usually reciprocal,
together, yeah.
Right? And sometimes I'm like, Most High, you sure you send them to the right somebody? And I'm like, yes, oh yes, right somebody. Do you find that because of your ability to understand the youth them of today, because you're never perfect? Remember saying, you know, the Most High hardly give perfect people no work for you, you know. Because you never perfect, do you find that you can minister in the true sense of the word better to the people of God picking them?
Absolutely. We have answers because we found out that we are the answers. We found out, remember, we were in the problems. We were the ones in the problem, and we found out that, whoa, but the answer was, the apple seed was always carrying the apple tree. The apple seed was not just carrying the apple tree, it was carrying an apple tree full of apples, and not just an apple tree full of apples, but apple tree with apples that have apple seeds, with more trees, with more seeds, with more apples, and so forth. So I remember, and I said these things because I'm challenged even by leadership in the nations. And whether or not leaders of the nations want to solve the problems of the nations, or they want to have many pictures and videos of that suggest that there's a problem. We meet one at a time. In 2019, we met with like about 305 youth in a Jamaica who were considered, who it was said are involved in crimes. And I tell them who they are as Jamaican. Me and my team tell them who they are as Jamaican. And we watch them weep around like baby. Why? Because them never know that they possessed anything good. All they saw in themselves were criminals, because that's how they were described. Yeah. Now, I know a friend and take up for nobody who do criminality. But what I say is, apple seed always have apple in it. Is environment determine whether or not apple seed become apple tree bearing apples, and not just bearing apples, but then creating the business that produce apple cider and apple juice and apple pie and all of these things. Our thing is that as nations, we don't seek to solve problems above how the problems are created. We don't see beyond. So every day, when I asked somebody in an interview one time, which day will the media, not just in Jamaica but worldwide, which day will the media take 24 hours to talk about all of the good things that are happening in the world? Just one day, I could talk about everything we're good.
You think CNN would do that, Beauregard? Hello? Beauregard not there? Where Beauregard there?
You're not hearing me? I'm here.
Okay, all right.
Yes. I said I'm not sure, Mama Kelly.
Me sure they not do that. but you know, we want to talk to you about Africa. We want to talk to you about mission. But one of the things that I want to ask you, as someone who is ministry-led, and you're going into cultures that have totally different perspectives of God. Mm-hmm. Do you go in with your own perspective, or do you try to find what we all have in common and focus on that as a starting point to your ministry?
So I answer that this way. I sing. When I sing and when I speak, everything that I do it in the key of man. Okay,
I hear that.
I do it in the key of man. Why do I do it in the key of man? Man was created in God's image and likeness. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are, and I can talk to a Muslim and be friends with a Muslim. I can talk to a Buddhist and be friends with a Buddhist and not be offensive to a Buddhist. Why? Because the Buddhist is human. A human is a spirit being that has been placed in a humus body, and so I'm given. You see, him says study to make yourself approved, not unto men, but unto God.
Exactly.
So my life is never about making men feel like I can do, or making men feel like no. My one duty on earth is written in this: activating purpose and transforming the nations of the world one life at a time.
By your life, by your example.
Absolutely. Because and that is because I came into understanding purpose. I came into understanding who Rondell is. So when I came into understanding who Rondell is under God, then I realized that I can help you to understand who you are. I can help, and then you can help somebody else to understand who they are and why they are. Yeah. And it is and again, Mom, it is for me, I'm a youth who is anti-religion. I don't like not nowhere religious. Why? Because if it is that religion kill Christ, religion will kill me too.
They will kill the whole away. But watch this now. If your religion is different from my religion, but we both practice the same kind of love for people, for ourselves, don't we have more in common? Isn't that a rallying point?
We have more in common, totally. But the truth is that we're outside of even being ourselves. Because listen to this: because all of the religion them come together and say, this religion say me believe in a God, and this religion say me believe in a God. So if the whole away say we believe in a God, and then God say, no need for divide, him say if you no divide, to be frank, him put it this way. This is one of the things that I always show the church, because if Rondell, them go burn a fire upon your face, say this, but I forgot say it. Denomination means divider. Correct? No, if denomination means divider, and Jesus Christ say, if the thing is divided, it can't stand. if you divided and feel say you can stand, that means that you're not rate Jesus, you know. Because of Jesus, you say your praise, and Jesus say, if it divided, it can't stand. Then how you expect to stand when the man who make the thing and own the thing say, if it divided, if it shell up in a parts, it can't stand up. And then you shell up in a parts and say, this are the man who may deal with, you know. And the man say, if it shell up in a parts, it can't stand.
Oh, I wish all the best when you go to church Sunday, but look here now.
Again, how him say it is, right? That's how all heap of people get freedom. All heap of people get freedom, even if you fight the truth. Him say, you shall know the truth, and then the truth shall set you free. Let me dig a little deeper. And then him say, my people perish because of a lack of knowledge. Let me tell you why the world, which part there. My people perish because of a lack of knowledge. And then him say, because you have rejected knowledge. So when me just say, if you get it and then reject it, him say, I will have to reject you. And then him say, I don't only reject you, I will also have to reject your children.
You see, people reject religious perspectives rather than rejecting the truth. If you bring the truth before me without any color, without any race, without any religion, I'm going to accept it as the truth. But if you bring something before me colored with your perspective, I may not.
And that's why I don't even talk my perspective.
Rondell, at 12:52.
Me not talk my perspective. Because when them ask me what is your opinion, me not have none. Or if I have opinion, me ambassador. The ambassador of a nation. The ambassador of a nation. If he speaks if he ever speaks his opinion, right away him end up in a prison because he's outside of his jurisdiction. What was written for him. You can't be a representative, an ambassador of Jamaica, and go tell them, I think that. Ask the Prime Minister. The moment them start talk, I think them outside of the governmental jurisdiction that has been given to them based on their ambassadorship. So
because they're there to represent the people.
Rondell positive ambassador. Me can't give up.
I love how you talk. I love how you talk, and not only just that, but people are catching on. People are moving that veil from before their eyes. So this is why I ask these questions. One has to come wherever you are, whoever you are, as long as you're dealing with people, you have to come rather not from your perspective, but from a perspective of what is true, what works, who are we, what do we have in common. We're not going to talk about Africa today enough.
Spirituality, Mama Kelly, spirituality.
Oh my goodness. And then is Rondell positive.
Africa, man.
You talk about Africa, because we can go, you know.
Africa is looking, so I've been invited to share with, I met a man a day after he died in 2014 named Miles Monroe.
A day after he died?
Day after he died.
Before?
No, man, a day after he died.
Okay, all right. No, I get what you're saying.
Meaning I met him because we never know nothing about him. And it was the day after he died, I was introduced to him by my Virgin Jermaine Edwards. And ever since that day, I just became connected to basically everybody who connected to him. It was something that was orchestrated, written. And so much of his team has invited me to participate in a mission going to South Africa. And then because I did the work that I'm doing in Jamaica with youths, the work that I've been doing with youths, as I say, I am the answer, I am purpose, I am the change, them kind of thing that I'm born for purpose, spreading that message. I was invited to actually travel over with them. And so I'm actually getting an opportunity to go into Nelson Mandela's, the place Soweto where Nelson Mandela come from, to actually go impact some youths and things for about 10 days and thing, you know. And so
Africa is going to love you.
Is this your first time to the motherland?
I received that and I accept it. Yeah, it's my first time going to Africa. And for me it is and I wish that the youths, I wish that the truth about who everybody is will start find them, because I think many of our youths and many of the next generation is caught up in how them look and wearing whole heap of diamond and spending whole heap of money by the fake thing them where the people them make them feel like, yo, them thing are gonna make you find yourself. Find with self.
You know, Rondell, I've never been to Africa either, my brother, and I think the same way you think. I wish that everybody could get to experience Africa, including myself, you know, because I feel like Africa has a lot of answers for us.
Yeah, man. So me going to Africa is about the next generation. Mama, every morning when me pray for my 3 daughters, them, I pray for everybody in them generation. Me and my wife sit down and we pray for every individual in their generation. Why? Because for the world change, generations will have to change. For the world change, generations will have to see truth and find who they are, and that them, you were never just created to come take up space, man. You were created to make a difference, man. Your life is not just about you. Why are we talking about Bob Marley and Nelson Mandela and people like Billy Graham and all of these names? Why we can't forget about them? Why? They never ever made it about them. They made it about the next generation, and so that's all my life and my music. That's what I'm about.
We're running out of time, but all I can say is that I know Rondell positive because we've had some serious conversations in the past. I know that Africa will embrace you tight. Just try and make them let you go if you come back at your yard. But I know that they will embrace you tight because you're militant, you're real, and instead of being focused on whatever it is that you want, you're focused on whatever it is that the Most High wants you to do. And I love you for that.
I love you, my mother.
Love you for that.
I love you too, man.
True indeed, my brother. Continue to do great things, and congratulations on the 2nd season of your TV show, Mirror Purpose.
Give thanks, give thanks.
Yes.
Yeah, man, and I stop play the music there, that song there, because you see that song there, Moms, let me just drop this. I've been in the US for the last 4 months. You know, so I mean, the teaching thing and stuff, and I've gotten some opportunities to be in some schools in the US. And in 10-second periods, I watch this song. I watch kids just grab this.
Which one, the mirror or the mirror?
Just grab this, and their parents, 10 seconds, 10 seconds. And just I say, I am the answer, I realize.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
that's
man.
right. It's about the I am. So, it is now 12:58, and I think we're going to close with a new song. And just briefly tell us about the new song.
So the new song is one of my little general them that I've been mentoring. He and I have been writing and thing together, and he got this rhythm from Kenya and said, let's do this together. And so the song is called Something New, because something new are gonna happen right about now, and something new is in store, and nothing I'm gonna stop it from straight. John Mark Wigan,
So
Rondell positive.
This is how we're going to say so long, and I would love to have you sitting right here beside me when you come from Africa.
Absolutely.
All right. Beauregard?
Yes, Mama Kelly, it was another wonderful show. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. We'll do this again next week.
Yes.
And I want to say a happy Father's Day going out to every father in Jamaica and around the world.
Happy Father's Day to you, Beauregard. Happy Father's Day to you, Rondell.
Yeah, man. Thank you, man. Thank you so much.
And happy Father's Day to all the fathers on the Bridge 99 FM. All right? So we're leaving with Rondell's new song. And
John Mark Wigan upon it too.
all right, cool. So this is how we say so long. Nicky comes in a few. Want to say enough love to the Untengle team. And once again, heart of love, Rondell. Heart full of love.